You know, life can be sometimes quite funny, because if you have seen my review of the Nubia Z11 Mini, you know that I liked this phone a lot. But despite liking it so much, already back then, I was wishing for an improved version, maybe with a Snapdragon 625, maybe more RAM, a bigger battery, and a new Android version. What I did not know back then, and that's the funny part, is that phone actually already exists in China for quite some time with the Nubia Z11 Mini S. It was though just released in Germany this week. Thanks to Nubia Germany, I already have it, played with it the whole day, and want to share my first impressions. One thing that I did not really ask for is that it got bigger from 5 to 5.2 inches, and it got aluminum back instead of the glass back. If it still can deliver and is all I wanted, we will see a little bit here in this first impressions video, but definitely in my full review. But one thing that I still want to mention is, if you check the specs and the price with 299 euros, it is a direct competitor to the recently announced Moto G5 Plus. Which one will turn out to be the better phone? I will know in a few weeks, but I can already tell you now what I think, at least so far. Okay, let's talk about the first thing, design. I don't want to really get too much into it because, as you can see here, nice aluminum back, a little bit curved towards the sides, the back not itself though. But it feels with 5.2 inches a little bit bigger now, so one-hand use will be still possible, but for some reason it's quite wide, because if you compare it here with the 5.1 inch Samsung Galaxy S7, you see it's quite a lot wider. So I actually like that it was so compact with the 5-inch mini version. So I will have to get a little bit used to that and not having glass anymore, because I'm a glass back lover, but aluminum still feels actually quite good, but it will be a little bit more slippery, I guess, but I will have to see that. The buttons though are really nice. One thing they improved a lot is the fingerprint reader. Now you don't really have to press it so much anymore and feels a little bit more responsive. Definitely super reliable. The buttons are still pretty much the same, and the overall design aesthetics are quite nice here with the antenna bands quite nicely tucked away. But I have to say I definitely like it so far, but the size is something that I will have to get used to, at least from what I wanted from on the Mini. Now in terms of the display, now it's 5.2 inches, so a little bit bigger. And it is pretty much of the same quality though, because we still have the option to change the color temperature and the saturation, so all is good here, and the display definitely delivers so far. I have to check it for a few more days how good it actually is, but from what I see so far from day one, absolutely pleasing, great viewing angles, brightness, colors, everything seems great. The only thing that I've noticed is still a little bit motion blur, but that's normal since it's an IPS display. The speakers pretty much feel like the same, so I would say good. They are loud enough, nothing really spectacular though, should get the job done. I really hope though the headphone jack is just as good as it was on the Mini S. Now in terms of performance, this is what I wanted, because Snapdragon 625, my still favorite SoC today, because it delivers an absolutely top-notch performance in this price range, and that is just so nice to see, because now it is even smoother, and already the 617 on the Mini was nice, but this is just a little bit better, and I know that it will bring a lot of a better battery life. But as you can see here, battery life and performance definitely won't be a concern. Of course, I can't talk about the battery life itself yet, but here is one thing that I would like to do. I want to just take a guess what I expect to get on my full review, and I would say 8 hours in mixed use. This is what I'm going to say right now. I can't really judge it yet, but knowing that the Snapdragon 625 is a lot more efficient, and with a now bigger battery with 3000 milliamp hours, this is what I just roughly have estimated. Of course, in the full review, we'll know if that actually is true, if it maybe is better or even worse. But I don't know, but I definitely know one thing, it has to be good. I just can't imagine anything else. In terms of software, I won't really show it off. You could check any other Nubia review, and that actually shows one thing, even though we have Marshmallow running here now. Instead on the Mini with Lollipop, there is no difference at all. The features are still the same, and everything is pretty much the same. We of course now get a newer service framework, but this just shows that their UI was quite advanced. We have already dual window, we have all the great stuff, and you can check this in my review, and you will also then know that I absolutely love this UI, just because it looks very sleek and it has a great amount of functionalities that are useful. Now, quickly about the camera. I haven't tried it yet, but what I know is it's a 23 megapixel on the back and a 13 megapixel on the front, and I've already liked the one on the Mini a lot. So if this one is actually even improved, what could I wish more for? Because then, to get already to the kind of summary, this is pretty much the greatest $300 phone so far, if everything turns out the way it seems, at least for now. Because the build quality, great. Of course, I would have still wished for the glass version, just personal preference, but it feels a little bit bigger. Of course, the display is bigger, that's fine. So it feels a little bit more premium, I get that, but something they shouldn't maybe have changed, but I guess it because it makes it a direct competitor to the G5 Plus, even though it was already released way before that. The display is super nice, the sound is okay. I would have wished for a little bit of a louder speaker that would have actually, at least for me, improved the overall experience even more. So performance though, no complaints. The Snapdragon 625 just knows to satisfy and enjoy and to convince me. Battery life will be great. Camera, I hope, will be just as great as on the Mini, if not even better. And then for $300, you get a great package because already thinking of one thing, this is the 64GB version with 4GB of RAM, something you won't see in the G5 Plus, because that one will be a 3GB version with 32GB of RAM. So in terms of value, this will, at least in Germany, be actually even better. So I can't wait to try both to actually know which one is the best $300 phone in Germany. Of course, for $300 phones by now you can get completely different phones, but not in the 5.2 sector with that what I expected to be great battery life. That's all I have to say for right now. Like I said, this was just a preview. Check the full review in about a week and a half or something like that, and you will know the definite answer if this is what I wanted it to be back then when I already didn't know of it yet. Okay. Until next time, bye.